Let's review what we've learned about fractions so far. To learn about fractions, first you need to understand that they are equal parts of a whole. There are many different ways a whole can be divided into equal parts. Take a look at the shapes as they appear. Notice all of them are divided into equal parts that are the same size. Look at the following shapes as they appear. Tell whether or not they are divided into equal parts and discuss why with your learning coach. Pause the video now so you can have a discussion with your learning coach about why the shapes are divided into equal parts or not. Shapes can be divided into any number of equal parts. For each shape that appears, discuss how many equal parts you see. So if we think about this first shape here, we know that it is divided into 3 equal parts. 1, 2, 3. And since there are 3 equal parts, we would call these parts thirds. The fractional units would be thirds. Go ahead and pause the video and discuss with your learning coach what the other fractional units would be in the pictures that you see. A shape divided into 2 equal parts is divided into halves. A shape divided into 3 equal parts is divided into thirds. A shape divided into 4 equal parts is divided into fourths. Notice that the first model has our fractional units labeled. All of these pieces are fourths. In the second model, we have the unit fraction. Each of the pieces would represent. One piece is 1/4 of the picture, 1/4 of the whole. The rest of your fractions would follow a similar pattern. Fifths, sixths, sevenths, and then the pattern would continue. If we put all the fractional parts together, we get the whole. So this model here is divided into thirds. We have 3 equal parts, 1, 2, 3. This is a 1/3, we could count them. 1/3, this is another third, so that would be 2/3. And then a third one would be 3/3. If we have all 3/3 shaded in yellow, we have the whole circle shaded in yellow. 3 parts are shaded, and that would equal 3/3, which is the same thing as 1 whole. It is another way to say 1 whole. When we talk about fractions, we're talking about any number of the equal parts of the whole. We might only talk about 1 equal part. Look at the colored parts of these examples. We have 1 out of 3 shaded parts, so that would be 1/3. We have 1 out of 8 equal parts, so this would be 1/8. And here we have 1 out of 4 equal parts, which would be 1/4. We also might talk about more than one of the equal parts. So let's look at the colored parts of these examples and think about how many equal parts are shaded in each one. So we want to think of what fraction of the parts are shaded. In this first model, count how many whole pieces we have. How many equal parts do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 equal parts. How many parts are shaded? 1, 2. So we would say that 2 out of 5 or 2/5 would be shaded. What do you think this model represents? What fraction of this model is shaded green? Well, we have 7 equal pieces. We have 3 that are shaded. So 3 out of 7, or 3/7 would be shaded. Try another one. What fraction of the shape is shaded or colored pink? There are 8 equal pieces. Hopefully you counted 8 pieces. 7 of those pieces are shaded in pink, so 7/8 are shaded pink. When we write our numbers to show a fraction, we put the number of equal parts in the hole on the bottom. So here we have 3 equal parts and 1 shaded. Notice the bottom number of our fraction is a 3 because there are 3 equal parts. The bottom number always represents the number of equal parts of the whole, and it's called the denominator. We put the number of parts that we are wanting to represent on the top. Which ones we are talking about? In this case, we're talking about the purple parts or the colored in parts. So there is 1 part that is shaded. So there's a 1 at the top of my fraction. Remember, the 3 represents how many equal parts. The 1 represents how many are shaded. The top number is called the numerator. So the 1 is the numerator in this number. All right, so let's practice by looking at some pictures and naming the fraction that they represent. What would the fraction be for this shape? It would be 1/4. The fraction is 1/4 because 1 part is shaded out of 4 equal parts. Here's another one. What would be the fraction for this shape? The fraction would be 2/6 because 2 parts are shaded out of 6 equal parts. Okay, let's see if you've got it. What would be the fraction for the shaded parts of this shape? That's right, 4/5. 4 out of 5 parts are shaded. What would be the fraction for the shaded parts of this shape? That's right, 2/8. 2 out of 8 pieces are shaded in. What about this one? I hope you said 2/7. Okay, great job with reviewing your fractions. Now what you're going to do is you're going to complete your lesson notes, the first half of your lesson notes, numbers 1 through 5. You are going to look at the word form of the fraction and you are going to write your fraction in number forms with numerators and denominators. And then before you complete the second half, you're going to watch a video and learn about comparing fractions.